Hello and welcome to this EiB workshop where we'll be going through the client install instructions. The agenda for today's workshop is to go and find out where we can download the latest build and how we can actually check to see the number of the latest build. And then once we've downloaded from the hosting website, how we can install that. And just please note that you will need local admin rights to do so. Once installed, I will also go through how you can check to see the build that you have installed on your client machine, and also where you can go and retrieve your license key for existing installs, as this is quite important when it comes to downloading the latest build. So in order to check how we can get to the latest release, first thing we need to do is open up our web browser. Then we need to enter the following URL, which is simply hosting.eibanalytics.com/84. This just looks at the port 84 of our hosting website, and you'll see here you'll come onto the EiB customer software download, and this is specific to EiB Analytics. What you'll then need to do is paste in or copy and paste in your license key, and then select validate. You'll notice that once a license key has been validated, you can see that we've got some more detail in the canvas below. This 218 signifies the build number, and at the moment of this recording, 218 is the latest release that is going out to the public. And then once you have your license validated, I can select download. And this will automatically download the latest release, this build 218, to my machine. And you will see that has started in the lower left of my browser. Once that has been completely downloaded, I can run that. So I can either click on it, I can go to my downloads folder if I wanted to. The easiest way is just select and open. It is dependent on the browser, so maybe it would be a case of going to your File Explorer, Windows File Explorer, going to the downloads folder and finding setup.exe. Depending on the firewalls that you have in place, you may be met with a firewall message. This machine is using native Windows protection, and therefore, because it is an executable, I'm being given an alert that maybe I don't want to run it. As I actually do want to run it, I need to select more info. I've got a bit more detail about what I'm going to install now, and then I'm going to run anyway. Just note that you will need local admin rights to install the software once downloaded. You don't need them to download, but you will do to install. And you'll see here that the wizard is now displayed. And the important thing here again is just look at the last three numbers after the other details, so 20.0.0.218. 218 just represents the latest releases I said about from the website, and you just want to make sure that they do match, just so that you know you're installing the right executable, just in case you've got others saved to your machine from previous installs. I then need to accept the license agreement, and I can install to the default location or any specified location. Typically we use a default location, and you'll see here just the amount of free disk space that is required. Then I can select next. This is a machine which has already had EiB Analytics installed. Whenever there's a machine that has had EiB Analytics installed, or 2015 or 2018, there are some files already left in place. The nice thing that we have now is that we can install over the top, so there's no need to uninstall and then reinstall. If you have had older versions or have had different releases there, or if you're installing over the top of an existing EiB Analytics build, you will be met with this message. You can just select yes. If it's a fresh client install, you won't be met with that message. The next section is looking at the ready to install. I can select the install button. And just bear in mind, if you haven't already installed on the client machine that you're on, there are some prerequisites that are included inside of this executable package, which may run in the background as well. Then once installed, I can say finish on the wizard. And there's a few things that I need to check. It's just good practice rather than whether it's first time installed or not, just to make sure that you have EiB Report Studio enabled. So I've just gone into the search box and Windows, just typed in enable. You can also find it under the Excel and Business folder. So I can see here Excel and Business and then enable EiB Report Studio. And we just need to make sure that is set to enable, and I can OK. The next thing I'm going to do is go and open Excel. Just bear in mind, if this is a fresh client install, you will be met with a message asking you to enter your license key, but we'll come on to that shortly. For existing users, it will already pick up your permissions based upon your connection profile, as well as your permissions in regards to user profiles, cube roles, and everything related to that. If I just select blank workbook, I will see the tabs that I have access to. And the important thing for clients when they are looking to check to see what build they have locally and what is actually the latest release is by selecting this EiB Analytics tab, I can go to the Get Help option and About, And because I've just deployed 218, I can see the number corresponds. Out of the recording, we can see October 2020 is the latest release. That's the month it's in there. Over time, this is likely to change as we put enhancements in, amendments. So it's always worthwhile just keeping up to date with the latest build, and you can do so, as I said, by going to Get Help and About, and this 218 identifies the software installed on your client machine. With regards to licensing, whenever a new client is installed, you will, as I said, you will be asked to enter some license details. And there is a bit of information around this, so you can always go to the Get Help and then License section, and you will see what your license key is. For this example, as I had previously, this isn't actually a real license key, but I can't show license keys. You will have something which is usually 5 blocks with hyphens in between, alphanumerical. You put your license key in, you select activate, and that will go away and authenticate the local machine with the user to then access and use the software. You'll also see there's some other details populated underneath, and we can see what sort of activations they are, how many activations you have, who is the, and this is an important thing, who is the representative for the license. So it's usually the main finance user, and of course, the company that it pertains to. For those users that have proxy servers in place, you will probably need IT to tell you what they are. And then what they will do, they'll give you the detail, and you just need to say, if they do ask, they need the domain, the host, the user, the password, and the specific port. You can then put those details in, okay that away, and then activate. If you are using a proxy, if you try to activate without putting the details in, you'll be met with a message telling you that you can't connect to the server. Just go and ask IT, they'll give you the details, put the proxy and activate, and then you'll be able to get the details in there. Just another thing, just to bring it back to the build number, you'll see in the forms we can see the build number in place as well. So again, we're still always looking at build 218. One other thing to bear in mind is on the first time you install EiB Analytics, if your user isn't already set up, then you will need an EiB admin user to go and define your permissions. Now we do have a recording for that, which is the EiB administration training, which you'll also be able to find on YouTube. I suggest if your users aren't aware how you can set up new users, please go and watch that video, and it will take you through the step-by-step process in order to define specific users as well as their permissions around the front end, permissions at the back end with regards to what they can access inside of the cube, as well as permissions to the gallery. To review, I have shown you where you can go and check for the latest build and how you can download and install that. And we've also gone through how we can check the build installed on the current client machine, as well as how we can check the license key ready for when we go and download the latest release from the hosting website.